How's everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Deysel Farm. And we're in our slaughter facility that we're busy converting, or at least we're in our caravan type of thing that we're busy converting into a slaughter facility. Daniela and I, we spent a lot of time just ripping out all the old stuff in here, just getting it as, workable as possible. So I left the counter over here. We spent a lot of time modeling this and figuring out exactly the layout to maximize the most out of our space. So this is basically what we ended up with. We wanted to leave it as intact as we found it, so that there is as little work as possible. So right now, so got the stainless steel sink over here, which I'm about to put in there. Other than that, we've been plugging up some of the holes. I'm still waiting for some covers to come. Behind me, you'll see, because this thing doesn't have any windows, so we actually ended up using one of the caravan windows of one of our previous episodes when we were building the trailer to put this on. We only had one window. Anyway, but we used it, went in there, sealed up the rest with steel plate that looks at least the same, aluminium plate. This thing that we're building, it's not to be insulated, it's only to be used in summer, so at least the stuff that we're building, we can take shortcuts, if you want to call it that. Cool, so let's get started. All my troubles, throw them in the wind. Look what I found. Frederick, 4th of October 2012. Well, someone found your Easter egg, buddy. The devil's calling my name, it's counting on my sins. Finger on the trigger, I've used up all my plans. Standing on this hill that I built, I make my final stand. One of the best things I did this year is two things actually on the tractor. So I've got a block heater on the tractor, which is connected to a Sonoff smart switch. So now from my phone I can just switch on the block heater, because I might not feel like coming out 2 hours early for that, or I might be busy with some other stuff. And then the second thing is the C-Tech trickle charger for the battery, and this stays in, and I just have a little plug that I quickly plug in, and that's connected to the dual battery system. So she swings like a dream every time, so it's actually been really easy with the tractor this winter. This is the unit, this is the cooling unit. It is probably going to be mounted in this orientation, but just outside. And this is the fan that goes on top. It will have a roof over it, of course. And then this, it will be the wall for the cooling room. And then this is the inside piece for that unit. So as you remember, in quite a few videos ago, we got this unit for free. We went through a whole lot of work getting it on a chassis. It didn't have a chassis, so we stripped out the caravan for it. The whole intention behind it was never to just tow it around permanently, but just to have it on something that can actually be moved a little bit if needed. So now this year, unfortunately, we are not running chickens, and that's due to a salmonella scare that was at the hatcheries, and we couldn't get to our eggs in time. As you know, we have a very short season up here in the north of Sweden, and things really have to work in order and at the right time, and it just didn't work out for us. But that gives us a lot more time to actually focus on things like getting the slaughter facility ready, as well as some clever ideas that we've had on some DIY skeleton pens. So for today we have to get this thing stripped out and prep it to get in some vinyl. This unit has to be completely washable on the inside for food, health, safety purposes, and it's up to us to waterproof it and to make sure that it can be completely washed out. And after that we'll get going on the construction of the cold room section, and so forth and so forth. This won't be one video, but maybe a few of them, so yeah, stick around and subscribe if this is the type of thing that tickles your fancy. So let's get going. Basically, before you start doing anything out here, you have to put on mosquito stuff. I mentioned it before, my one neighbor called it the curse of Norrland. And we have a lot of mosquitoes in northern Sweden, in a lot of places. Where we live, not actually so many because we're close to the water, which is ironic, but there's a lot more wind here at the open water. So that tends to make it pretty bad for them to live in. But like at our old farm, or even if you go here to our smaller forest sections, yeah, you're gonna be someone's lunch.
Lord, I thank you for the ride. Ain't going down without a fight. Across the line 1,000 times I've chased the thrills of living by the gun. Yeah, I've shot my fill. Living on the run, it's always time to go. There's only one ending to the
Something you never see. We've never filmed this ever. Daniela on the top step.
It was short-lived.
I'm impressed. We're making progress.
He quickly went to get the GoPro for that.
Right, so this, when we bought our unit, it was actually not available just for the unit, right? So we had to buy the one that's built into the cold room section. So we got an extra cold room section for this, but the unit is on a piece exactly this size. So now at least we've got a lighter one that we can use to measure up against and cut it and check how it's going to fit. So I was thinking like that, right?
Okay.
We can put this whole thing in the gap. So all we need to do is cut it shorter, and then it should fill this gap quite nicely.
Yes.
And then the unit will sit here, and
my question is, how do you secure it in the gap?
basically here, right,
Yeah.
we'll have strips
Oh.
like this that are bolted through. So strip on that side,
And they strip to each, almost sandwiched in.
sandwiched, exactly.
Okay.
So we had this a lot of debate about this roll of vinyl and how we're going to do the walls. Are we going to start in the middle because it's the tallest and then drape down?
Yeah.
And because it needs to overlap with that section as well, so it needs to come over so that the water runs over and over that, you know, not under it.
But it also needs to be straight.
And it also needs to be really nice and straight. So Daniela had this brilliant idea of why do it going vertically,
Vertically?
why do it vertically at all? And why not just start and go around the sides like that, and then the next portion you go on top of that. In other words, you would create this overlap so that when we do rinse off the walls, then there is a natural overlap, which is brilliant. So clever. Look how clever. I know. Right, okay, well now let's see if this brilliant idea works.
Yes, so we've been slacking a lot on this place. I think we just keep putting it off because it's not a lot of work, but it should work, you know, because cutting and measuring, and then it's windy. So we have forced ourselves to come working here again today. So today is again lots of cutting, maneuvering, trying to make things work. So I guess there's no time like the present to get started.
By the way, a thing that wasn't filmed was the installation of this piece of perspex over here and in those panels. Because this isn't the door, that's the door.
Yes.
This was a door and this was a cupboard to the outside. And now that's the door and this is not a door. Get it? Alright.
So, it happened. We ran out of vinyl for the walls. And it's summer holidays in Sweden and most places are closed. So we're stuck without vinyl for a while, but we're going to continue on something else. And behind me is a door that I built. And it's my first door. It might not be the best door, but it's my door and I'm proud of it.
This is me working really hard. Moral support. I hold the plank ever so often.
Hodor.
I'm Hodor.
Whole plank.
Whole plank. But as you can see, he measured I think 3 times because it fits perfectly. I don't have to do anything.
For a change. For a change, it fits perfectly. This is not a regular occurrence, folks. It's not a very big door. That will explain what the door is all about. Because the door is 55.
10 gold stars to anyone who can guess what a door 55 is.
Finger on the trigger. I've used up all my plans. Standing on this hill that I built, make my final stand.
So we are now in the fridge area / packing room in our slaughter unit. And as you can see, we've done some of the beams. We have installed a fridge door for the door, an actual fridge door, which magnetized and all the rest of it. So we will walk into the fridge like so. It won't look like this though. And we have also installed our fridge unit, which we've now tested. It's got a bit of ice, so we know it's working. So far so good. Up next we need to panel and insulate this area so that the fridge doesn't have to work so hard, and obviously for usual purposes, and finish up the room with vinyl and stuff. So far we're getting there. It's coming along nicely.
Lord, I thank you for the ride. Ain't going down without a fight. Across the line 1,000 times I've chased the thrills of living by the gun. Yeah, I've shot my fill. Living on the run, it's always time to go. There's only one ending to the bandit's road.
So it's raining yet again. We decided we're going to cut the vinyl in the barn. My dearest wife is just cleaning it up a bit.
6 feet in the ground. Across the line 1,000 times I've chased the thrill of living by the gun. Yeah, I've shot my fill.
Right, so I think we're going to leave that video there because this is probably starting to become quite a long video. We've got a lot of work still left on this thing, but I think we're getting there fairly quick, considering the weather and the rain and all those things, excuses, you know. The walk-in fridge is not 100% done. We still need to add a light and, you know, some ventilation and things, and shelves, of course. But we'll keep you posted. And next up, we're going to be doing a lot of the walls, plumbing, electrical work and so forth. So yeah, please subscribe and follow our journey with us. Thanks. See you next time.